now at performance level. So
Awesome. This is as good as it gets.
this is as good as it gets.
I guess I'm trying to adjust mine.
I listened to. Do you still? Oh,
What?
I better get over here and mute that.
Oh,
There we go. We're safe now. I muted it.
oh, hang on. I need to mute. I need to mute that. Okay, I'm good there.
Both of us,
We're all
amateurs.
well. I got my TV up there, and I got my iPad, and I got all my junk.
Oh, your
Trying to trying
doohickeys.
to. Well, I like to share this on my Facebook page because I think people may watch it. I don't know. And then I like to watch this for comments because you're not good at watching comments.
Yeah, I watch a little comment. We've already gotten an early comment from
Oh, we
someone
did.
that I didn't know that you could see. I scheduled ahead of time,
I saw that.
and someone asked, "Is Doug going to be on?" That just shows you that all 700 of my followers on Twitter are based totally on the exposure I got through Doug and maybe Mike Miller too. Mike Miller are doing those drawn and quarters.
Do they still
Where
do those?
they do them. They moved them to Tuesday, and
Do you do you not participate?
I was threatening to participate pretty soon. Yeah, I may do it.
You should. That was kind of a lucrative little deal for you, wasn't it?
Well, yeah,
Potentially.
followed by the auction. Yeah, that could be. Uh, but what else was I going to say about that whole process? Oh, it's just that there's a lot of people that like to do it. I don't like to crowd anybody out that wants to be there. You know.
No,
So
just like Thunderdome, man. You got to charge. You got to crowd them out.
yeah, no, I'd rather they had a whole bunch of like. There's one young person named. No, I can't think of it. But anyway,
Oh,
they've got a great chemistry. She and Mike, and be ashamed to crowd
oh
her
yeah.
out.
You know. Hey, man, it's like Thunderdome. First come, first serve kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
know.
anyway, I put in the topics. I've seen a couple of movies recently that are Randolph Scott. I
Oh
always
yeah.
I think of Randolph Scott. I didn't watch many of his movies back in the day because his star had already risen and gone by the time I was there, and by the time I was watching movies, Randolph Scott was already considered kind of corny. He was the old styled Hollywood hero by the time I was watching movies. They were starting to hint that hey, maybe we ought to get a little darker, a little more adult. But you start catching up with
Oh
these
yeah.
these old movies like Randolph Scott, who were the classic, archetype of the old cowboy heroes, and those are fun to watch. And especially if it's
The
go ahead.
well, I was gonna say the ones I always see. I know you don't have cable, but on cable there's a channel called Movieplex, which just plays movies, and they have a large on-demand library, and they have a lot of westerns. And the one I always see is there must be if there's one, there's 50 with Buster Crab in them. You know,
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, Buster Crab would have been making
yeah, this is like in the
cereals and
30s, I
stuff.
think,
Yeah,
or
sure.
something. Yeah, I don't know if this predates Flash Gordon, or I guess it probably post dates Flash Gordon.
Yeah, everybody became a cowboy at some point or other.
Yeah,
Um,
but
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 no, but Randolph Scott dates way back to that time period. He dates back to pre-code when there was a movie called Murders in the Zoo. He showed up as a very young man. He was also, I believe, Cary Grant's roommate for quite a while. They all ran wild in Hollywood together a little bit, and he's a guy that it's kind of worthwhile to discover the old iconic character. Mel Brooks is making fun of him in Blazing Saddles a little bit. They
oh
all
yeah,
they all take their cowboys hats off and put them over their heart and say
oh yeah,
Randolph Scott. So they're making fun of what a god he was to that genre, and obviously they're in the middle of the genre. And I
Yeah,
also,
well, they're not they're harkening
yeah,
back to it
yeah,
for sure.
they're sending it up.
Yeah.
And you remember that gag where Gene Wilder, all of a sudden everybody's gun flies out of their hands with rapid fire shots from just off screen, and then you look back and Gene Wilder still has his arms folded. Remember that?
I vaguely remember that. It's been a while since I've seen Blazing Saddles.
Well, it just shows that without even breaking a sweat, Gene Wilder is just much incredibly faster. Even when he's getting over a hangover and drunk, he's still going to be able to outdraw a
Yeah.
line of guys that are basically execution squad, counting down, cocking their guns and everything. They've got the drop on them totally.
Right, but he can still outdraw them all.
He can still knock the
And
guns out.
and shoot the guns out of their hands.
Yeah, shoot the guns out of their hands. Well, I saw probably since, Brooks was so knowledgeable of Randolph Scott, I saw probably the origin of that gag, and it was beautifully done. It's called, in a movie called 7 Men Out, Lee Marvin and Randolph Scott have the final showdown. And it's been established a couple of times already that Lee Marvin is working on his lightning draw. We see him playing with it a couple of times. And at the end of it, do you want me to tell you, or do you want to watch 7 Men Out?
I'll tell me.
Well, Lee Marvin is so great physically anyway. But so they're sitting there, the long stare down, the showdown, you go first, whatever. Finally, Lee Marvin, all he does is twitch and then instantly goes into like, I've been shot, and you hear a gunshot. And then then it cuts to, in the time it took Lee Marvin to twitch, you just instantly cut to, Randolph Scott, and he's got his pistol, smoking out. He's already shot him. And I thought that was so much better than showing both of them pulling their guns.
No,
because
yeah, you could, yeah.
It just showed you that, Marvin had time to twitch before he went into his death throes, which Marvin is great at death throes anyway. He loves a death scene where he gets to really ham it up, falling in some sort of awkward way,
He's kind of a hammy actor anyway.
He's great, yeah. He understood that it was like, sell it to the cheap seats, He was great.
Yeah, it's interesting though. You talk about that because to think that how huge of a genre of westerns was at one point, and now it just vanished, and it's like, how does that happen? I don't know if there are any other. Horror kind of comes and goes, but
all you'd have to do to prove to somebody, all you have to do is prove that people were ready for a cowboy movie.
That's true. If they thought they'd sell, they'd certainly make one.
Which, considering the ever burgeoning number of the Hispanic audience, that's a lot of their TV. They're always putting out their own gaucho kind of.
Yeah, you would think notions. That would be something. My cousin lives not far from you, but in an area of town where if you drive down the street, it's all Spanish signage, a lot of Mexicans. And one of the things that we've done, because my cousin is, for anybody to listen, my cousin is on disability, so my wife and I kind of help her out with errands and stuff. She doesn't drive. And so before the coronavirus, one of my jobs was to take her laundry to the laundromat, because there's a laundromat not far from her, but not driving. It's too far to walk. And so I'll take her laundry there. And typically I am the only white guy in there. And it seems to be predominantly Hispanic. I don't quiz anybody on what their ethnicity is, but I believe I'm mostly the only white guy, or near as I can tell, or whatever, which is fine. But I say all that to say, boy, there's a lot in that area of town. A lot of Hispanics wear like Western garb,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
So I can't
Yeah.
imagine that that's not a thing, you know.
Oh no, no.
I don't know.
They're really big on cowboy stuff. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny is my old boss used to work for a place here. It wasn't here; it was a little town south of here that made belt buckles. And you know, he worked there in the 70s and 80s, and he said, you know, back then he said we were running shifts 24 hours a day to make those Western belt buckles
Mm-hmm.
because they couldn't keep them on the shelf.
Stamping them out,
And
huh?
oh yeah, well I think they're rejected, but yeah, yeah, the uh, and it's weird that that is just gone. You know, I mean, I guess it's not uncommon, but I always wonder if that kind of thing would come back. Of course, a lot of that came out of at least around here came out of, I guess, like the urban cowboy was big,
Well,
and
I was
the
just going to
whole
say about as far as the death knell goes, urban cowboy would be a good one to say. Let's just
oh, you think that killed it?
stop making these. Yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
I've never seen Urban Cowboy, so I can't
I haven't
comment.
either. I haven't either. I might just love it, but I doubt it.
I, yeah, I kind of doubt it. I think it's
You know, there's a lot of movies like that where I kind of doubt I'd like it. And then, of course, the moment you get into it, if you dig the characters, you just instantly get into it. The movie I watched the other night, have you ever seen The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou?
oh yeah, I got that the DVD. Did you like it?
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen it before. It's on Hoopla. It's something I rented.
Oh, it is.
I
Okay.
was hoping they had some more Wes Anderson movies. Which reminds me, I still haven't watched that movie about the dogs. It's a Wes Anderson movie. I need to watch
Oh,
that.
the
I'm sure.
Island of Dogs. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Isle
watched
of
that.
Dogs. Was that any good?
Yeah, I thought it was decent. You know, my wife is a dog lover, and there was some bits in it where there were dogs in cages and stuff that she didn't care for. It wasn't necessarily graphic or anything, but you know, that's just
That
you
was the
know
thing. The only thing I objected to about that Lee Marvin Randolph Scott movie is, man, they were rough on the horses in that movie. They, uh,
oh
they,
yeah,
it
I
was
think
just amounted to how many really rough tasks they gave them, like pulling wagons steeply uphill out of mud and stuff like that. It was just like it, it looked good. It looked like somebody was stuck in the mud and had to work at getting out. But it's kind of hard on a horse to get
yeah.
your.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that was kind of one of the things of westerns is like the horses have to fall down on command and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that may be one. They wouldn't have that at the end where no animals were harmed in the making of this movie or whatever they
Yeah,
put on there.
yeah. This was before that era, though. I don't think they had those warrant those.
No, no, yeah, no, not in the 30s or whatever.
No, actually, this was
Um,
probably the late '50s when Seven Men Out
oh, with the
came
rand.
on. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
it's got a really cool plot, and it's got a couple of things that plays against expectations because it starts off with another great scene that is like, this guy he was working with, Bud Bedecker, was actually they got together late in Randolph's career and brought it all the way back out. Brought him back up to star status again. And this Bedecker
Oh, yeah.
guy, this Bedecker guy had been an actual, what do you call that, where you stab bulls in an arena. He was a matador,
Bullfighter.
He was
Yeah,
a bull.
Matador. Yeah.
He was a bullfighter, and he's famous for Blood in the Dust or something like that. One of the definitive
Oh, yeah.
movies about bullfighting. And of course, he'd be that era of all the all that Hemingway macho kind of stuff of everybody was brought up on during that era.
Oh yeah. James Dean was really into bullfighting. I mean, I don't think he ever fought a bull, but he went down to Mexico, and supposedly one of his prized possessions was a matador cape he had. I don't know. That may be a lie, though.
One of those apocryphal stories, huh? Or is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Apocryphal.
No, I've seen pictures of his apartment, and he had a matador cape on the wall. But anyway,
So anyway,
I've been do. Oh,
go ahead.
keep going.
Well,
Well, I was gonna say I've been doing.
okay, go ahead. You start. You go.
No, I'm gonna change the subject if I go. So you go.
Okay, so this cowboy movie, I was just going to tell you about this one other scene that's just so great. Imagine Randolph Scott arriving in a driving rain, surprising a couple of people that have got a nice dry spot under an overhang, and just starting to talk with them, having coffee with them. And then they start talking about the robbery that occurred in town, seeing if that's of interest to him because they find out he's from that area.
Oh yeah.
And so the final question this one guy asked Randolph Scott says, have they caught up to any of them? And Randolph Scott looks at him with this like cobra intensity. He says, caught up with two of them. and then they change shots, and then it's from far away you're hearing gunshots. So you've got no idea who's winning or losing. But of course, later, Randolph Scott rides out with two extra horses, So,
So you're like, okay,
he won. Yeah,
we
he
know.
won. That's how you know he won. They didn't show it to you, which is cool. That was might have even been experimental stuff. And imagine how maybe useful it would be to be in the heart of a macho kind of universe like bullfighting, and all of a sudden, yeah, give me a genre here. Yeah, let's do cowboy movies.
Yeah.
He could add something to that genre. Coming from that. So go ahead. What were you going to change the subject to?
Well, I was going to say I've been working on those portraits. That at my work I'm doing these portraits for this job. God, it's about to kill me, man. They're just so picky, and it's not even. They're not. I don't think they're even looking at the likenesses. I think they're just looking at them and going, eh. And I found out today the customer, the company that's buying them, has a committee of 2 artists and 1 person from HR looking at them all.
Oh
And
man, you just got a dozen.
Yeah.
You got a dozen eyes on it that can say,
yeah, exactly.
That could be better.
We'll never make these people happy. Yeah, and of course management is looking at this going, we're gonna, because this company is it's a convenience store. I won't say which one, but the company wants us to get this job. Of course, I mean right now we got like 100 of these between now and the end of the year we need to do. And like, so the guy that's doing them is asking me, well, can you help me with, and he's nitpicking our stuff to death. And I'm talking like 2 hours a day on the phone to him going over stuff. And it's just like, dude, I have no time. I don't have time to work on my stuff. And he's wanting help from my guys. And I'm like, we're busy. And his boss is wanting to know when we get done with it so we can work on it. It's just we're not staffed up for this, and we're not gonna be, because no one's gonna want to hire anybody for. I mean, you couldn't hire somebody for something like this,
not
really.
For a while, yeah.
And it's a mess. But that's been my latest headache, and I'm not. Well, I guess I'm complaining. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, sounds like a complaint to me. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it kind of does that. No, I'm glad we're busy. I mean, I was telling Michelle, my priorities. There's viruses. One, not to get sick, which you may not be able to avoid, and 2 is to keep my job.
Sure.
And then it's, then it devolves into, hey, I'll get to go on vacation this year. Because I don't know if our New York plans are out the window. I mean, at this point, I don't know if I ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the murder rate's
Who,
crazy.
who wants to go there?
Yeah.
I mean, de Blasio's
Oh
emptying the
gosh.
prisons, and he's doing a lot of, really vindictive stuff. Can you imagine being, knowledgeable enough that anything you do bad that could smear Trump, you do it. That's what's, if you say, well, we can bring the crime stats up all by ourselves.
Yeah.
They're going to do that both in California and New York. It's like we can claim we're worried about infecting our prisoners and just empty our prisons. And believe me, I think that governor in California plans on 18,000 people that probably should continue with their little
Stay.
their little stay. And you hit the street with that many people that they're the predators, and all of a sudden you stick them back among the lambs. You are going to cause a lot of human misery, and that kind of cold-blooded calculation of like getting
Yeah.
crime stats to hit
Oh, the stats in New York are
Trump over the
horrible.
head. Yeah.
The stats in the
And
murder rate is.
it's amazing. I guess they figure they can do it, even though they're, by any objective standard, you could say they're to blame, but they're somehow going to put it off on Trump.
Well, 2 years ago, or whenever De Blasio was running, a friend of ours in New York, I was talking to him, and he said, "Man, if De Blasio gets in, he's going to be bad news because what he wanted to do, what he ran on was eliminating what they call stop and frisk, which is basically like if you see somebody doing something, you can stop them and frisk them. And they had, I think it was 600, either 600 or 900 plainclothes police officers, and the goal was to get illegal guns off the street.
Mm-hmm.
And he disbanded that group. And it's like, well, now the shooting rate is, gone through the roof. But my friend was telling me this like 2 years ago. If he gets in, he's going to do away with it. It's going to be horrible in New York.
Well, he's been in, and this is his second term, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, it's and I mean,
he came in after. I guess it was Dinkins. I don't know exactly, or maybe not. Maybe it wasn't Dinkins. No. He came in after the billionaire. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Bloomberg. Is that your phone ringing?
Yeah, it is. You aren't calling me, are you?
No, I'm the only one that has your number, aren't I?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that your home? Is that your home phone?
Well, it's that.
I don't know if I even have your home phone number.
It's not a home phone. It's just my stupid.
Oh,
there we go.
Do you still have a home phone?
It went to message. No, I got rid of that thing. Why, do you have one?
Oh yeah, we still have a landline. I like having one, even though they screwed around my landline, and it's now voice over IP, so I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for it. But because I always liked it, because even if your internet or your power's out, you can make a phone call.
And now that's
now it's not the case. No, because it has to go through your modem. Yeah, so if your modem is dead, you can't make a call. I mean, then you use your cell. It's not as critical because you can use your cell phone. But here's the thing: my house, and people are like, "Oh, you need to get rid of your landline. Don't be old. Get rid of your landline," kind of deals. My house is like in my kitchen. I can't use my cell phone. So if I want to talk to somebody and go make coffee, I need to talk to them on my home phone. On my landline, and so. And so like now with my work, working at home, I'm getting rid of my landline number, and then, I don't know, but like, it's just, I don't know. I like it. I don't mind. Even though, I mean, it saved me like $20 a month or whatever. But I mean, who cares? I'm rich.
Yep.
That's a joke. I certainly don't need $20 a month though. $20 a month will not make a dent in anything in my life.
So you're working
But
on Heaven's Rejects right now. You got a lot of stuff that you've got on the back of that page that you're punching up through it.
oh you'll see this.
Let's see it.
So this
A
is
big old.
this is okay. So if you ever do a comic book that has cars in it, this is how I recommend doing it.
Scott's your
And
man. Look at that. Look at that grid.
well,
That's
oh yeah,
That's
so
beautiful. That grid up at the top where you got it set in the desert.
dude, oh, and see, you knew it was a desert. Well, you probably saw the front of the page. The grid is just a grid I printed out. I photographed the cars in
So
there, and
on
you
one
can
of those.
see I've kind of messed with them. Yeah, just on they're just Hot Wheels. I've photographed on my cell phone.
Sure.
And it's great because I mean I have to I have to work out my composition in advance. But in fact, this is page 16. After I get this done, I have 6 more pages, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, I'm gonna run out of work, Ellis. I don't know what I'm gonna do then. I will be very sad. But I have a figure drawing book by Godfrey Bams. It's about that thick. It's 600 pages that I want to go through.
Yeah.
I was reading it Sunday because I didn't feel like sitting at my desk Sunday, and I don't feel like I need to rush because it's like I don't know. I mean, I don't want this to come out until comic conventions come back, and when is that going to be? You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
You
anyway, yeah. So this is out of what?
You should put out a sketchbook.
Yeah, I should. I don't know what I don't know what I'm going to do.
Just think of all those sketches you've done. Why not? Why not take all those scans of all your sketches and do a little compilation of stuff? Just
I've done one before, and it was fun. I like doing stuff like that. I really do.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Comics related, I got into last night. I've got a really bad copy. It's like a gig. You can imagine. Most movies. If they're movie length, they're never that small. But I've got a gig copy of the Independent Film Channel showing of. I probably had it on a DVD-R at one time of American Splendor, which I've never watched.
Oh, yeah.
I've never watched all the way. I've never seen any of it, basically. And
dude, I've got
it's kind of fun.
I got the DVD.
Yeah,
it is fun. I like that movie. Yeah, that's a good.
You talk
like
about
that.
there's like about 3/4 walls they are penetrating with that movie because they got the actual guy, they got the actor playing him. They got commentary from the real guy on the actor playing him, and then going back to our, fantasy land of playing him and all that. So that makes it kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that. Speaking of, have you thought any more about us making a movie this fall?
I haven't thought about anything other than taking stills from our existing stuff. I've got to do a little bit of a essay about where these stories came from in my comic book. I've got on another layer here, the cover that I just did, where I was obviously, there you go. You can see that, can't you?
Oh yeah. I saw that I didn't see it in color. That looks great, man.
Yeah, it's me trying to be Jack Kirby, obviously. But it's, it was fun to do. I'm not even claiming it gets halfway close to being a Kirby, but all the stories in it will be, have prior life as our little short subjects. So what I'm going to do is explain them, do frame grabs from the subjects themselves, and do a little essay on it. And so,
if anybody's watching this, go into Ellis's feed on YouTube and look for a movie called Coin Toss. That's the one that Ellis and I did in one afternoon, and it was the funnest. It was the funnest project. We're both in it, and Ellis's effects. Your post production really makes it. I think
yeah, sure.
it was quite the deal. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
have
it was fun.
memories of doing that.
And the idea is that you come up with an idea with some simple notion that you can make compelling in a couple of seconds. And we did that. I think that's what makes it a success.
Yeah,
and
it was just fun to do.
Mm-hmm. To me, they have those
and the effects.
Yeah, the effects. Oh. Go ahead.
The effects.
The
effects make it. That's awesome.
I'll add the link to that. But see, they have to go in a circuitous route. It's actually under my Plastic channel. It won't be in this one.
Oh, it's under this one. It's not under. We'll put it on this one.
Okay. Well, you know what? I could.
Whatever you want to do.
I could do that.
Yeah, you should then.
What was that called? Coin toss. Yeah.
Yeah, do coin toss. And then we did another one called You Rang, which was
which
was fun. But I think coin toss was more successful.
Yeah.
As a final film, You Rang might have been funner because we were down in the tunnels there.
And then the Hobo's Bendel with.
That was another good one. You should put all three of those on your. On your Ellis Goodson site.
Yeah, you bet.
Or.
You're right. I will. That's a good idea. That'll be a project.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because I think doesn't this page get more traction than your?
No. Than
Plastic
is
got more.
Yeah. It's got several thousand views on some of my stuff, but see, it's all copyright violation stuff that gets all my traffic. But you're right. It might be better to shift it all to this channel where I don't abuse the rules.
Yeah, you don't want. I would hate for that to vanish.
Yeah, exactly. That's another good idea. That's another good point. Yeah, it might vanish if I leave it on this other channel.
If you're actually violating copyright, which I believe you are, by the way.
Probably.
I saw today that a bunch of Twitter accounts got hacked. Apparently, Twitter had a massive security breach.
Big hack.
I'm not a fan of Twitter, by the way. I have an account.
Well, yeah,
but I never.
think everybody feels dirty on Twitter anymore. It just has gotten kind of nasty.
Well, I think I don't think it was ever great, and certainly for comics, I feel like it. And what's funny is I know there are people that thrive on it, and I'll tell them, "Oh man, Twitter's a sewer. I hate it," and they'll be like, "Oh no, it's great," So some people thrive on it. I don't know. It's like anything though. If you're on social media, you got to kind of work at it, and I'm unwilling to work at it.
During all that time, I was looking around for that film while I was in the other channel. My screen had turned into a mirror, and I'm sitting here bare chested.
I just looked up and I thought, is Ellis wearing a shirt?
No,
hey,
not wearing a shirt.
Our air conditioner's gone out upstairs. That reminds me, I'm going to turn the fan on in here. Hang on just a second.
Okay,
I got to unplug. Hang on, give me a second.
Okay. What I'm doing is playing around with the iPad, which I have come to love. Now, it's like anything. Right now, my posture, my ergonomics on getting to the drawing surface, I'm kind of slouching. And to get to it, I would have to kind of like break my back to get to it properly. So I'm drawing in a way that I don't like drawing in, but just killing some time with Scott here. But I really love the iPad, and I love the program I'm using called Art Studio Pro.
Somebody must have asked the question,
No, I'm just
or you just
I'm just
talking.
I'm just filling dead air. So you're back. You got the fan on.
The
You were
fan is
you,
on. I'm comfy. It's not
mhm.
bad. I mean, our AC is kind of working, but it's not as cool. And we had the guy service it at the beginning because I mean, my wife's an engineer, so we do all this stuff. And the guy came out to service it, and he said, "You're short quite a bit of Freon. I'll fill it." He said, "But you may have a leak. We may have to replace that unit." So that's where we're at. So tomorrow I'm going to spend an ungodly amount of money, but I'll get a new AC unit out
What,
of
what,
it.
what, what do you estimate you'll be paying?
About $3,000, between 3 and 4 grand probably. Here's what I told my wife though: we need to put it on our Amazon card so I get points back.
There you go.
She was like, "Well, I was so mad because I went with my mom. My parents' refrigerator went out, and so I went with my mom to get a new one. And we were in the back at the appliance place, and I helped negotiate it and all this jazz. And mom wanted to write a check, and the guy said, "Well, if you write a check, you got to go up to the front." And my mom was like, "Oh, I guess I'll put it on my credit card." And I blew it because I should have said, "Mom, I'll put it on my Amazon card. You can write me a check." Because my parents had
Yeah.
the money, and and I could have I figured out it would have been like $80 worth of Amazon bucks, I think, if I should put that refrigerator on my card. And I didn't think about it until like the next day. I go, son of a, why did I not do that? That would have been, but oh well. And then now Michelle's like, I don't know if he takes a credit card. And I go, he's going to tomorrow. It's a guy that we know that has he's done our heat and air stuff for a long time. Real good guy. His name is Jason Tubner. If you live in Oklahoma City and you're looking for if you have a heat and air thing, I think you can find him under Jason Tubner. If you need one, let me know and I'll send him your way. He does
That would be
good work.
spelled Tubner.
Yeah, Tuebner, I think. Not tube specifically, but TUE, I believe.
Okay.
Anyway, he's a good guy, good honest guy. Anyway, so
I may look him up.
Do you need your air conditioner replaced or serviced or?
Well, definitely wouldn't replace it, but yeah, every now and then I get worries about this air conditioner. If I have a hard time with it, I'll look him up. Do you know anybody
Okay.
that'd be good to call about getting my replacement water heater? Got any recommendations?
I can find
that?
I will find your recommendation. I think we have somebody.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think what we had done last. It's been a while. I can find you somebody if you're. And, it's ironic because somebody asked me, "Does Ellis have a hot water heater yet?"
Who asked that?
It was either Dave or Barry.
Okay.
And
this is interesting. I've got
they're
both
concerned.
the reflection going and the fleshy chest thing because I've got my canvas really small because that way I'm just working on big shapes. I'm also experimenting that I want to make big easy marks at first, and this is a good experiment tonight. I've got the resin. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think Friday I'm going downtown. I'm tired of being stuck in my house, and
just the heck of it.
Yeah, I got to work, but I've been doing these portraits, and like today, the guy kept me on the clock until 6:00. So I worked 10 hours, 2 days this week, and I'm like, crap. That means, and I can't work overtime, so that means like Friday I got to leave at what like 8:30. I mean, we're just so busy. Do what?
I might. Well, I don't know. I might meet you down there if you want.
Yeah, you could meet me. I don't know what's open or anything. The bad, well, let me. I was gonna say I don't know if I'm gonna park in Michelle's parking lot, but I'm gonna park in
Yeah,
that
never mind,
area.
never mind. I don't want to.
Why?
Yeah, I don't want to go. For one thing, I don't want to hit the tunnels, and I know it'll be really hot. And
It will be hot.
the library's not
The
open.
library's
There's no point
closed.
in it. Never mind.
That's well, and that's why I didn't really just invite you immediately. I just got to get out of the house, man.
Yeah, sure, I understand that. No, I get out for my walk every day. That's how I regulate the thing.
Sanity.
Yeah, I'm listening right now
Well,
to a big compilation of personally picked supernatural fiction by H.P. Lovecraft. You know, he was also a guy that made a point of sharing his love of other authors, and so
oh
yeah,
yeah.
so that's kind of cool. I'm listening to some Edgar Allan Poe and some Ambrose Bierce and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Like I'm halfway through the middle of Turn of the Screw for the second time. I've read it before, but it's kind of fun to be listening to it.
Oh yeah, I've never read that. Is it pretty good? I know it's a ghost story.
Yeah, Turn of the Screw. Yeah, I definitely say catch up with that.
Okay, I'll have to look in. I'll have to look into that, Ellis.
So we've talked about Heaven's Rejects. Let me see what the other thing I put in the title is. Oh, Curious Accounts. Yeah, well, never mind. We've talked about all three of them. Now we can talk about anything we want to. You can talk about Heaven's Rejects again if you want to.
Well, I think I don't know. I want to get the book done. But I'll be honest with you. I'm a little like I don't know what I'm gonna do next. It's like and if I get it done now, I know that nobody's I don't know. And I did that comic that Spider Gwen thing. They still haven't really done anything with it. They were supposed to look at them and all this other, and it's like, wait a minute, you guys were going to look at this stuff and give feedback, and I haven't heard a peep from them. And they said, well, we're kind of busy. It's just like, okay, well, I don't know how helpful you are to me then. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this if, I don't know. I have a feeling, though, my book will not come out until comic conventions start up again. But, if it, I don't know. There could be conventions next year, I guess.
There's going to be some sort of
something will happen
thing, where people just finally say, "That's it. We're going to quit.
Sure.
We're going to quit acting like someone made use this kind of like linguistic kind of like thing on it. There's pandemics and there's endemic. In other words, this is here. This is always going to be here now. There's nothing to be done about the fact that it is here. So it's endemic. And that means get over it. You are maybe, you can take all the precautions you want to. Walmart on Monday, if I had casually walked up to Walmart and done my usual bit of not going in with a mask, I won't be able to Monday. They are having a new instituted policy of nobody gets in without a mask.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I ordered and it arrives tomorrow. I ordered it this evening. It's one of those things that's just basically a big. It's for motorcycle riders, and it's not a full face mask, but it just pulls up over your.
Like a baklava kind of?
Yes, a baklava. That's what it's called.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's a baklava. And that instead of a surgical mask, and if anybody wants to criticize it as like, well, that's not up to spec or something like that, nobody will, because I'll just. And the thing that cracks me up is like, as far as the letter of the law goes,
yeah,
you should be able to say, hey, are you dumb? You can't wear that with your nose hanging out. That's the way.
Yeah,
That's 50%,
that's what I see all the time.
50% of the time you see people with their nose hanging out. That's doing you absolutely no good. You've got a broadside on your main mucous membranes right there with your nose hanging out. But so that tells you that to be, hey, gentlemen, General Drudge has arrived. He said hi.
Oh, hey.
I've been seeing his projects, him sharing a few things.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. He was. We were talking on Instagram about what the time I met Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter came and spoke at OU a few years ago and did a talk about making comics. He had a making comics seminar at OU that I
yeah,
attended,
I think he's
and
got a pocket lecture, doesn't he? Did he tell you
yeah, yeah,
the
Mary Had a Little Lamb. Is that what you're gonna say? Or
no,
no,
no, no.
Little Miss Muffet.
Little
Little
Miss
Miss Muffet.
Muffet, Little Miss
Yeah.
Muffet story.
Hang
Yeah,
on just a second. I'm gonna grab something off my wall. Hang on.
sure, sure. And that is a classic little, as short a story as it could be. Little Miss Muffet, set up a situation, set your scene, sat on a tuffet, you know, eating her curds and whey. So you know everything about Little Miss Muffet. And then you set up conflict. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and frightened
So
Miss.
this
What do
is
you got
my
there?
it's my diploma from the Jim Shooter's How to
From
Create
Defiant.
Comics seminar. Defiant was the company that he created after he went to or after he left Valiant or got ran out of Valiant.
Yeah.
And so this is what I got. But I didn't put unfortunately I didn't put the date on it. I put my name in there, which is I know just knows it's coming off. I did that rub on lettering,
And then you
but Shooter
laminate it.
signed them. Well, no, it's kind of in this cheap frame I had at the time. It's kind of an acrylic frame but that's been hanging on the wall in my studio for whenever he left Valiant, which was late '90s, maybe mid '90s. So
I met him at a Tulsa con way back in the day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. What year was that?
yeah.
Jeez. 1980, 1979, something like that.
Oh really?
Hmm.
That's cool. I think Jim Shooter was one of the. I mean, I think I'm a big Bronze Age fan, and I mean, he made Marvel comics. Well, I don't know about he made Marvel comics, but he certainly oversaw a bunch of talented people at Marvel Comics. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's weird how much weird antipathy a lot of people have for him. Uh, he's just got that no
Uh,
nonsense kind of glower of his, but at the same, he looms over you.
yeah, because he's
He's
tall.
he's very tall, but at the same time, he was more like a what do you call people that are ahead of their time because he was just a young teenager when he was breaking in as a writer. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he was sending in stories when he was like in his early teens.
yeah. My
And,
understanding he was very poor. He's
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
poor, and he did it, and it was a way that he made money for his family. I guess
yeah, yeah. I guess so.
that looks better. I was doing this with a ruler, and it looked terrible. It's supposed to be cracking
Hmm.
glass. So in this scene, the girls are going down the road, and they pass again. This is the road race for the and I caught my rider because I was doing this. And originally, the plot called that the loser becomes the slave of the winner, and I go, dude, we cannot have that. We'll get something bad happen to us. So he changed it. They lose their soul, which makes more sense because it's angels,
Hmm.
kind of a a thing. So that's what he changed it up to. But anyway, it's a road race, and the loser has loses their soul to the winner. And of course, the girls, being angels, don't want to lose their soul to the demons. And so they're in the desert, in my weird perspective desert here that I probably need to fix. But uh, in the desert, and they come across this kraken in like a big that's being driven around in this big. And anyway, they drop by and shoot it. And someone in this last panel, the girls are going to go down here, continue down the road, and this thing's going to go over. I'm going to draw this big flood of water coming out here, and the Kraken just going out into the desert. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of a cool little scene because of that. I like that.
No, he sounds like he sets up his little moments, his little shots, pretty nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It could be very, very filmic.
I'm very happy with the writer. He puts in all this crazy little stuff. Then I got to figure out how to draw it, which is okay. I mean, I don't mind that. You know, definitely a lot of stuff that's like I've never drawn that before. I don't know how to draw that. But anyway, that's what I'm drawing tonight. And this is the last page that I have ready to pencil. So I got 8 pages that are penciled that need to be inked. And then I have 6 pages that I've just thumbnailed just the other night. And in fact, I thumbnailed them the other night because I knew that we'd be talking. And I didn't want to do thumbnails while we were talking. So this is the last page of pencils. And I'm probably going to scan these and then go back in and do all my inks. I don't have too many inks to do at the end. Because I've done that. One of the issues, issue 3, I think it was. No, it's 2. I did all the pages in pencils. And then I went back and did the inks. I was like, oh my gosh, it's killing me.
Have you heard of this book called Killers of the... phooey. Killers of the something or other moon. It was Robert De Niro was going to be the star of it. It's about a thing that actually happened in Oklahoma, and Martin Scorsese's going to direct it. I think it's been put on hold at the moment because De Niro has problems, and I guess filming in general has problems. He's going through a divorce.
Oh, Robert De Niro is?
Yeah, it's taking up a lot of his energy apparently right now, trying to hang on to
his vast, some of his wealth. Yeah,
supposedly worth $500 million. That
wouldn't surprise me.
That'd be a hard divvy. Say, here you go,
former
California,
wife, man.
Yeah,
50-50 state, man.
Yeah, $250 million. There's your windfall, baby.
Ouch.
Enjoy life.
And that was probably like his 3rd or 4th wife.
No, I think he's had the same one.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's another De Blasio guy. He married a black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's I
didn't know De Blasio was, but I mean.
You didn't know that either, huh?
No, I didn't. I don't know anything about De Blasio except these.
What's amazing to me about De Blasio?
Oh, wait a minute. No. I'm sorry. I knew that. When you said that, I was thinking of Bloomberg.
Okay, yeah.
I saw a picture of De Blasio's wife, him and his wife, the other day.
Yeah, and she supposedly was. I just read this recently. I didn't know it until just maybe yesterday. His wife is famous. Before he married her, writing a big article saying, "I am a black lesbian."
Oh yeah,
yeah. So her big claim to fame before he married her was making a splash as a black lesbian.
I don't know if that's celebrity worthy, but okay. I can't imagine.
That'll make you a celebrity if the time is right.
Well, that's true.
I guess it was for her.
Oh, probably. I don't know if there's a lot of money in that, but whatever.
yeah, there wouldn't be any money in it. But
hey, she married De Blasio. Isn't he? Is he rich?
You know what? He's only worth about $2 million. That kind of surprised me. Yeah, that kind of surprised me that he was worth that finite an amount.
I'm surprised he was able to win the mayorship with that limited of a war chest.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Let me see what General Drudge has to say here. Let me screen the screen. Yeah, about Indians and oil. That is
Yeah,
correct. General Drudge. It's about this. De Niro was going to play him. He's the bad guy, and killers. I'll look it up real quick. Hopefully, my bare chest and
I'm not looking.
the something or other moon. It'll fill it in for me.
Oh yeah. Is it like a Western or is it like a?
No, but it will be a turn of the century kind of stuff.
Oh,
It'll be just out of the Victorian era, flapper era, probably. The the Osage murders and the birth of the FBI. Yeah, this is important for the birth of the FBI. Third nonfiction book. So anyway, I've got it from the library as the audio book.
oh, you do?
Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon, the Osage murders and the
Oh
birth.
yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. So this guy De Niro is playing these Indians and by marrying some of them,
Yeah.
and just in other ways, getting legally entitled to being their heirs,
Oh
and then,
yeah.
and then killing them,
Oh geez.
and so that they can have those newly valuable, newly discovered oil field rights. You know, you got to watch it where you place the reservations, basically. They might be worth billions, you know. So that's what they did. That's what they did, and he was making his own little one-man crusade of getting all that money to himself.
He was consolidating it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he was not playing an Indian. He's going to play
he's playing
a Caucasian
the guy that was the at the heart of it. And I guess this is at that early period where this put the FBI on the map for solving some big cases and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Let me see where we're at on time.
We're close to an hour.
Yeah, there we go. 57 minutes. Pretty close.
You want to call it?
Yeah, sure. Unless you got something important to say.
No, yeah. Well, all I have important to say is be thinking about a movie. If I go downtown Friday, I'm going to film. I want to film. I have no program to edit a movie. I'm sure there's something free I can grab off the web. But I saw somebody did a documentary about the tunnels downtown. I want to do a better one.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Give me all the raw footage and no. That the editing. You want to edit it yourself. You want to edit.
I don't care. You can edit it.
No. You edit it. That's the main artistic stamp is to edit things.
Well, what I may do is download it, copy it all, and then just hang on to it until I get done with my comic.
You know what? It is possible.
What's possible?
That you could edit the whole thing with YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, because I'm not going to do like something crazy. I just want to, but I don't want to film. I want to film a bunch of sections of it and then put them all together. I could do that on YouTube, couldn't I?
Yeah, I think you could. I think you definitely could.
Okay. That may be what I do then.
And you could think of it as like, okay, now I'm going to do this little bit and this little bit and get all those little bits.
And then put them together.
Yeah, and then put them together later. And and also that they could also be private. In other words, no one is even seeing your little bits until you're ready to give them the whole thing.
The whole thing, the whole enchilada.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I've seen a couple, and I've been unimpressed. So
yeah.
So it's like, I may next time I go down there, because I was like, I may take some footage, and who knows, do something with it,
Hey, General Grudge, thanks for dropping in. I think I've suffered from dyslexia a couple times and called you General Drudge. So
that's different. That's the news guy.
That is different.
That's the news guy.
Okay, well, you ready to
We
stop?
calling it? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can call it. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for, and I've interacted with quite a few of the our, if you want to call them regulars, both on on Instagram, and it's always good to make those connections outside of the broadcast.
I see a couple of them on Twitter myself. Yep.
Twitter's a sewer.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we just hit an hour.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Bye-bye, folks.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.